air level of the Wyrding Way is the way of the spirit. Centering at the air level means centering with the spirit. We all have two selves. One self is the way we see ourselves right now in the present moment, and the other is the self we wish to be. The closer together these two selves are, the more centered we are. The further apart these two selves are, the less centered we are, because the person we see ourselves as is far from the person we wish to be. A spirit warrior of the Wyrding Way always walks a line between the forces of chaos and the forces of order. The goal of the inner journey that is the Wyrding Way is to strike a balance between these forces. At the air level, this means finding harmony between the person you are right now and the person you wish to be. When disharmony arises with us due to conflicts between our two selves, we can restore balance and eliminate or reduce the conflict by seeking wisdom through acceptance and change. The only ability we have to change anything is in the present moment. The past is gone. It is written in stone and can no longer be changed. All a warrior of the Wyrding Way can do about the past is to learn to accept it. Likewise, the future has not yet arrived. The only thing a vision seeker can do to change the future is to act in the present moment. The only changes we may make involve things that are happening right now, in the present moment. When we are centered at the air level, we are living in the present moment. And it is here that we can begin to make changes. When you learn how to do this in the present moment, you will be centered at the air level. Trauma is at its deepest and most damaging when it crushes the spirit. Many of us have been raised in religions that taught us that we were worthless sinners. These messages humiliate and injure us at the core of our being. Such judgments are designed to encourage self-doubt and function to create a state of codependence. They are based on blaming, shaming, and guilt-tripping. Centering at the air level of the Wyrding Way involves healing this sort of religious trauma. At the air level of the Wyrding Way, this healing is accomplished through music. Healing in the Wyrding Way is almost always accompanied by a song or a chant. Music is the language of the spirit, and the first step in healing at the air level is allowing the music to speak to you and to hear what it is saying. This is why music is so important when you are doing shadow work. The music you use opens the gateway to the emotions in the shadow that need to be healed. Think about the ways in which your spirit may have been traumatized by messages that you might have received in the past. How might those words have injured your spirit? And what might you do to heal? The spirit of the Wyrding Way at the air level is the spirit of self-awareness. When you strip away all of the petty concerns of this life, what remains at the core is your own true being. How much of what traumatizes you today will still be significant in a week, in a month, in a year, in a decade from now? Think about the music that may have healed you in the past while diving down deeply into the core of your being. What songs have the power to heal you, and why? How much you use the power of music to heal your inner spiritual trauma. It may help to sing or chant while contemplating these things. When contemplating spiritual trauma, consider how your life might be different if such deep inner wounds were healed. If you could wake up tomorrow in your own perfect world, what would be different about yourself? What would be different about the way you relate to your spiritual trauma? What would be different about how you see the world and your place in it? You must learn to make yourself happy before you can make anyone else happy. The key to your own happiness is to discover who you are and what you desire. This is the deepest secret of the Wyrding Way at the air level. When your spirit has been injured, the only way to heal is to reclaim the part of you that was taken away. To reclaim what was taken away, you must first acknowledge what was lost. If you can remember it, think back to a time before your spiritual trauma began. Do you remember who you were and what it was like to be in the world then? Do you remember a sense of hope and optimism? Do you remember when the world was new and every experience was fresh and joyous? Perhaps there was so much trauma in your life that you never knew such a time. If this is so, can you imagine what it would be like to be able to live a life free of spiritual trauma? Hold that image in your mind as you begin the work of reclaiming. Now think about your own spiritual trauma and the emotions associated with it. Do you feel free to express those emotions, or do you hide them in your shadow? If you were truly free to share those feelings, how might that change your spiritual trauma and the way you relate to it? How might expressing those emotions lead to reclaiming those parts of your spirit that were affected by your spiritual trauma? Beginning the work of reclaiming is coming to the realization that you have always been free to express those emotions. The only thing that stands in your way is finding the courage within yourself to do so. When you find that courage, you will be able to express those feelings in positive ways that lead to reclaiming and to healing. Reclaiming is a process that can take a lifetime. Part of reclaiming through shadow work is realizing that healing takes time. Learn to trust and accept the process, and allow yourself the time you need to heal, and you will be grounded at the air level. Across many cultures and many times, our sacred ancestors sang the world into being. It was their belief that if the holy ones did not sing at the appropriate times and in the appointed places, the world would cease to exist. Healers and diviners of our people usually required a chorus of singers to accompany them when they journeyed into the void. These singers would chant words that allowed the healer or the oracle to go into a trance, to enter the void and commune with the ancestors for healing and wisdom. To heal your own trauma at the air level is to heal your spirit. It means going inside of yourself and perceiving the world your spiritual trauma has created. Once you understand the nature of that world, you can begin the work of transforming it into the world you wish to create. If you have any bardic talents, you may wish to compose a song or a poem that describes the inner world you would like to create. If not, and you have a favorite song or chant that describes what kind of spiritual person you would like to be, you may wish to sing that instead. If nothing else, you can simply hum or sing notes and sounds without any words at all. While you are singing or chanting, think about those deep, buried spiritual traumas you've experienced in your life. Think about those traumatic events from the lessons they have given you. Thank them for the lesson and then release them. As you let them go, turn your inner eye to watch them depart. As you continue to sing or chant, bid those spiritual traumas farewell. When the song has ended, all that shall remain is your whole and balanced spiritual being, free from the past and ready to be reborn into a new day.